Welcome to podcast. I think this is number 18. All right, I don't know why I call it podcast 18. Dude Wrong Door official podcast, episode 18. And today it is me, Tim, with my friend David.
Hi, I'm David.
I was visiting his place for the weekend. We played some Diablo with Jan and Wesley. Played a whole lot of Diablo. Finished, I should say we finished the Reaper of Souls expansion. I don't know if you were in the room when we looked at the DLC page and found out there's another act that they came out with. I think it's called Rise of the Necromancer or something. And Jan was about to look at it and see what the price was. And I was like, don't. We have to move on from this. Because we started playing Diablo 3 in January with the intention of binging it, grinding through it really fast. And then we didn't get back together to do anything like that
for 9 months.
For 9 months, yeah. So it's like, this needs to be done. But yeah, I'm at his place now, so that's probably why the sound is going to sound much better than it normally does, without all the stomping and shrieking that accompanies me and Jan's places, and the airplane volume AC that accompanies Dallas's place.
I did leave the fan on, though. So
otherwise we would die before finishing the hour, because it is pretty stuffy on this fine October day. There's a motorcycle going by.
Yeah, going fast.
Gotta go fast and add some nice little texture to this podcast, add some nice background. Anyway, since this podcast is gonna go onto YouTube, we'll just start in on YouTube and talk about what's been going on with them. And boy, have some bad things been going on. First of all, Nintendo decided, I'm guessing because of the whole PewDiePie debacle.
Yeah.
They were like, they had this thing called the Nintendo Creators Program, and I think this started in 2014, where they were like, people play our video games online, and they make money doing that. That's not okay. We need to have them give us that money back, and we can only let them play certain video games. And it's very, very incoherent, very misinformed
I think
way of doing
started
things.
in 2015.
2015? Okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that.
I think it was maybe a year after the Wii U came out. So 2015 sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were reading an article about it yesterday. I'm pretty sure you said 2015.
Okay. Yeah, that actually sounds correct. Anyway, they started that program, and it's always been sucky, and it's kind of why you rarely ever see anyone playing Nintendo games on YouTube.
Yeah.
At least if they're trying to make money. If they're just playing it for whatever, it's just a hobby, sure. I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild was actually really popular with just regular old people. You didn't see as many PewDiePie or Markiplier videos with Breath of the Wild. They maybe would touch upon it,
but everyone else was playing.
Yeah. Every average Joe was doing it because they didn't care about monetization. Because if you're not part of that Nintendo Creators Program, Nintendo will just flag your video and take all of the money from it and put their ads all over it, which is uncool and not very forward thinking. But anyway, I think because of the whole PewDiePie thing recently, which if you don't know what that is, that's kind of surprising. But basically, PewDiePie on a live stream said the N-word, and that's got everyone a little bit worried. In reaction to this, I'm pretty sure Nintendo was like, no one can stream anymore.
No one in their Creators Club.
Yes. Anyone in the Nintendo Creators Club who wants to be able to make 40% of the ad money off of their Nintendo videos has now been not only banned from streaming Nintendo games, but banned from streaming any games whatsoever.
Yeah. Because Nintendo doesn't want the bad press.
Yeah, they're going 100% just hitting eject on all of that. They're not going to let anything like that potentially negatively reflect on them. They're not wanting any part of it. Which
I get, but
yeah, sure I get, but it's
not
really
reflect on your company. Yeah,
yeah, no one's blaming Player for what PewDiePie did.
did, yeah.
Everyone's too busy blaming PlayerUnknown for being super pissy and overreacting to the Fortnite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. You got your own problems. This is not one of them. And honestly, Nintendo is so squeaky clean with that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're
pretty sure everyone would be like, "That's that guy."
Yeah.
That's clearly his problem.
I mean, even if it was a guy that only streamed Nintendo stuff,
Which I don't even know if that exists anymore.
I don't know if that
thanks
exists.
to Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to the Creators Club.
Yeah.
Even if it was him and he just like came out in full like KKK robes and was just like "Ah!"
Was literally
no one would be like, oh, it's because he's a Nintendo guy.
Yeah, no, that's a dead giveaway. You see
Now, if it was
you see a switch in the corner, you're gonna see a burning cross right next to it.
Now, if it was Switch branded KKK robes, we might have something more to worry
It
about.
might be a little confusing, the message, but that's maybe a fringe possibility. But Nintendo was like, well, fringe possibility's enough for us, so we're just pulling the plug on it entirely. So I think if you start streaming anything as part of the Nintendo Creators Club, you won't any longer being in the Nintendo Creators Club, which, bravo, and now you can start making some money. Might be for the best. But
They hit eject, and now you can too.
yeah. In other news about YouTube and hitting eject on everything, or this is more like hitting self-destruct, most likely.
Yeah.
Kind of hammering self-destruct.
Can we say the P word, or are they going to cause a problem
Oh my god!
with that?
If we say it, okay. So most people know that there's this certain website where creators who don't want to run ads on their videos, or people that just want to be able to be supported by their fans without having to like, you know, make them click on an ad or anything. Like you can just, and they can reward them for doing that. I can't dance around it. I
Okay,
have to say
it's
it.
happening.
It's called Patreon. I might have to bleep that out in an edited version of this, but it might be considered shocking content by the YouTube bot.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, which all of our podcasts get flagged for shocking content apparently, because it's a bot. It is like the biggest prude. Anyway, so YouTube has now decided. I thought at first it was if you like promoted Patreon, then YouTube was now going to run ads on your videos anyway. But apparently that's not entirely that's not the whole story. The whole story is YouTube is now blocking Patreon links. It's only if you're in the YouTube Partner program that you can link to external sites, which is insane and draconian.
Draconian. That's exactly the word I was going to use.
The article like goes into a few different like stories about this, but basically, I think YouTube is just becoming more and more
Insular.
Yeah. And they're making a lot of bad decisions because they're so big and unchallenged.
Yeah.
They don't really have to have that much foresight with this kind of thing, because what's anyone going to do about it?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because they keep doing things that should make everyone flee to another platform, but there's no other platforms.
For a second, it looked like VidMe was going to be there, but then VidMe, it turns out, this is really expensive, and they had to enforce a data cap on anything, which basically makes them irrelevant.
I get it.
I know,
but
it's unfortunate, and it's because they're small.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube has the might of Google behind it.
And I'd love to support any other platform that I can.
And there's none other that come anywhere near the level of quality.
Right.
Now, okay, I'm not like a YouTube person. I've got like 14 videos on my channel, most of which are particular to a very specific community.
I could plug you if you want. Oh wait, that's an external link. Oh no, it's a YouTube link.
It's a YouTube
I guess
link.
not. I don't know. Just maybe they can see what you look like or something.
You can't see me in any of my videos.
Oh, I didn't. I'm going to be honest, David. I've never been to your YouTube channel.
You've seen some of my videos.
Oh, okay.
There's.
Oh, you have the Minecraft videos.
Yeah,
right? There was the
Avatar: The Last Airbender server, and then I've got 2 like Miyazaki clips that are kind of weird.
Oh, you made like Shrek memes with the Miyazaki clips.
A Shrek meme and
Shrek meme. Yeah.
Another thing.
Just
anyway,
a silly little video.
I've got all of 4 subscribers, but what does it take to be a YouTube partner versus just?
I think it's a whole lot of subs. It's a whole lot of views, and basically, your videos have to be bringing in money. It can't be a bunch of copyrighted stuff, because otherwise they're not going to make any money off of you. And it has to be like in an agreement, and
so unboxing channels.
Essentially. People who buy multiple different versions of Loot Crate. They're the ones that get it, yeah. Or people that put in a lot of effort into video essays that somehow don't use any potentially copyrighted material.
That would be impressive. And they have to be churning them out.
It's also literally impossible.
So
I'm pretty sure even Nerdwriter
those are
frequently skirts up against that and like has to like alter videos.
Those are generally the channels that don't need Patreon.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, well, exactly. Those are the only ones they want to support.
Oh god. So it's a vicious cycle.
Yes, it's because those channels are more like TV programming. They're very safe and transferable, I guess. And you know they have the kind of production value that a TV show would have.
Yeah.
And it's telling that the YouTube CEO, I can't remember her name.
I have no idea.
She started her YouTube channel this week, I believe, and made this like my first video post, and she was like, I'm gonna have some words of encouragement from some other YouTubers, and guess who she has in that list of YouTubers?
I don't know.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
He's not a YouTuber.
The single most successful actor in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's like
the highest paid, I should say.
That's like
that doesn't count.
It's like calling Lance Armstrong or something. Oh, we're interviewing this random cyclist. Like,
yeah, this down
not
grassroots.
just a cyclist.
Yeah, it's. And also, she had like the Viner invasion. Because after Vine went away, they invaded YouTube and started basically owning YouTube, running the place. She had a bunch of those, which actual YouTubers don't like, because it seems like such a low-effort format.
Well, it totally messed with the algorithm, because...
Oh, that's true.
Like, you have a bunch of people with pre-existing fans, they start a channel, and then all of a sudden they've got... all of those fans as subscribers watching their videos.
And because they seem like they're sudden viral hits to the algorithm. Because the algorithm doesn't know what happened to Vine.
No.
It's like, oh, well, this must be the kind of content we should be recommending to everyone. So that they only get bigger.
And a lot of the Viners were linking to other Viners. Which also messes with the algorithm. So, yeah, that's a whole nother mess.
Basically... YouTube's in a bad place, and it wants to be worse.
And no one can stop them.
It wants to be TV. Think about that. The format that the internet, and specifically YouTube, was going to make irrelevant. It was, like, YouTube was getting big because people were sick of TV.
Yes.
You know...
Now YouTube aspires to be.
Exactly. It was like, hey, let's go watch something on YouTube because... it could be made by anyone, and because there's no ads, and because I don't care about it being HD or anything. That's how it was back in the day, at least. Then we got the ads. Then we got like the increased production value. We got the fact that it became harder and harder to make money. It became harder to go viral because it started getting so specific and like restrictive on what things it would show to other people. It's getting more censored, just like TV is. It's gotten to the point where to get big on YouTube, you have to either have enough money to invest in making your own promoted videos, or you have to get really, really lucky and somehow ride that wave for as long as possible. Or you have to already be a very major channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Exactly. Or people like PewDiePie or Boogie2988 and Markiplier.
Yeah, Markiplier, those guys.
Yeah. Jacksepticeye.
There is a big name actor who has a YouTube channel that he posts on all the time, and he's got like 200 subscribers, and I'm trying to think of who it is.
Huh. I don't know about this person.
I think we've talked about it before, because it's really weird.
Huh. I know that Arnold Schwarzenegger has a YouTube channel, and there was a while there that he was just like in between takes on the set, he was just recording himself saying like his famous lines and just putting them on YouTube.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it is. It doesn't matter. But
yeah,
it is possible to be famous and not a famous YouTuber.
Yes.
Which is interesting, but...
It's also possible to kind of get lightning in a bottle and be like, an independent channel that gets really big really fast, like Tier Zoo.
Yeah.
Just like having such a good and I guess I don't want to say sanitary, but family friendly idea that can just get shared incessantly to the point where it like almost becomes mimetic. You can do that, and he has consistent quality and continues to upload. So that's like, he's living the American YouTube dream right there. However, he's like the exception to the rule now.
Yeah, it doesn't
which
happen.
is so unfortunate because that's the kind of stuff that I like.
YouTube was great for.
Yeah, and if you're not logged in on YouTube and you aren't, you don't have all your subscriptions and your recommendeds that are this certain kind of thing. If you aren't logged in, you go on there. It's Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. It's ABC,
it's
NBC.
TV.
It's just TV. Which is like
awful.
Why am I here? I don't want clips from the stuff that I get from cable with ads.
I cleared my cookies on my computer recently, and it logged me out of YouTube, of course. And so I go to my YouTube, not mine. I go to the YouTube front page, and I'm like, "What? These aren't educational. What are these videos?"
Yeah. Oh, for context. David doesn't spend his time on YouTube like 90% of the population. He isn't there just to just to watch, World Star compilations like I am.
I mean, the quote unquote educational videos I watch aren't like they're none of those like math. Well, okay, no, that's a lie. I do watch math videos. They're not like the people that teach you how to do quadratic equations or anything like that.
They're not like basically tutorials for like high schoolers that can't understand what their teacher's trying to tell them.
It's like people like Cody's Lab or what is the math guy that I follow whose name I can't think of right now? Stand Up Math.
Stand Up Math?
Yeah, he does math stand up, but
Christ.
That's not the videos I watch. He's got really interesting stuff.
It's got really interesting, but I don't watch it.
No,
I never. It wouldn't be caught dead.
Or William Osman, who I've been watching recently. He builds kind of terrifying stuff he probably shouldn't be.
Okay.
Like
was he
the dangerous toast buttering robot. That wasn't nearly as dangerous as I was expecting it to be. Watching some of his other videos, I was expecting much more flames and or knives.
Right, okay, well, like, I had never seen or heard anything like that before, and when I was watching it, I was like, this is entertaining, this is also David. I'm getting that vibe, it's like, this is the kind of thing David would like. Which, is fine. I'm not saying you're uncool. I'm just saying, to clarify, you said, these aren't educational videos. There are plenty worse than you. I mean, Wesley.
There is Wesley.
People already got. They already know that if they've listened to some of these other videos, which I'm not going to assume you guys have because I don't get very many views. But moving on from the YouTube thing, just because it is kind of depressing.
It is.
We'll talk about.
I'm not even a YouTuber, and I'm just like, man,
it's exhausting.
What if I wanted to be a YouTuber? It's not going to happen.
It's making it to where it's like, this is an impenetrable market. Which is supposed to be the opposite. YouTube, the name is supposed to be like, it's your thing. You're the star of your own channel, your own show. Calling it a channel is so empowering.
It occurs to me that we have a through thread here, not from the YouTube thing, but
I would love this.
From Warner Brothers to Warner Brothers Interactive.
You're correct. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
we're about to talk about Warner Brothers because boy, they are the supervillain of this podcast. However. This is
actually
okay.
They're less of a supervillain right now.
Right. In this one, actually, in both cases.
Oh, yeah, in both cases.
Wow, WB. This is their face turn.
Yes.
Anyway,
this is them not killing the kid with cancer.
Exactly. This is them putting the gun down.
I mean, they're still going to burn down the orphanage later.
Yeah, and he's still going to die because he has cancer. But they're not going
to go out of their way to kill this one. Yeah,
they're not going to relish in the pleasure of themselves killing him. Anyway, this isn't. I thought this was good news. It almost seems like not as bad news now.
Yes.
So Warner Brothers has confirmed that not all of the DC films are part of the DC Extended Universe. And I thought originally that they were saying the DC Extended Universe was canceled, which would have been the best case scenario because it's a broken piece of garbage that brings down every movie that's a part of it.
Because Wonder Woman was good.
Was the most
good, and it isolated. Had almost nothing to do with the DCEU.
It was like the epilogue was the only thing that connected it to the DCEU.
So because it wasn't dealing with the cumbersome weight of the rest of the franchise,
it was able to be its own movie, and it was a good movie. On top of that, it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it had discernible acts within those three. It almost felt like a complete film.
You know, like when Marvel was first doing their setup for the universe, and the only tie-ins were at the very end of the movie.
Yeah, sometimes
or like on
after
the
the
news
credits
and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. You know, the only thing in Phase 1 that connects any of them is Nick Fury shows up after the credits.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which was a much better way to do it, and DC didn't have the patience. And it was like, okay, well, they're just going to drop it, and we can have some good solo films.
But anyway, that's not what they're doing.
It's not exactly what's happening. They have said that they will be making some movies that are not connected to the DCEU. So there's like a Joker origin film that's being made that has nothing to do with the continuity in the DCEU. However, Jeff Johns also confirmed that the DCEU, he's calling it a universe. Like, they're still calling it a universe, but they are not required to have interconnectivity. Yes. Or to, like, they're just be in the same universe.
You know, since Superman is dead now, he's not supposed to show up in another movie.
Right, but you can just have him in there if you want. Like, that's still the same universe. It's still Henry Cavill, but he's dead in some movies. Which, I don't know. See, I want to say that's worse, but I don't know how you could get worse than the DCEU where it was. So this might be an improvement. It might be, you know, cutting off your arm is the best way to deal with this infection that you've contracted.
The gangrene, yes.
Yeah. DCEU is gangrene. But yeah, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic for no reason. Yeah, I've not been given any reason to be
Where
optimistic.
else is there to go but
I guess that's true. But it's still going to be a cautious ascent.
That's not true. They could get worse.
Oh yeah, I don't
don't see this automatically making things worse. So we'll see.
I don't see this making it inherently
I too am cautiously optimistic.
Yes. So going from Warner Brothers to Warner Brothers, I actually don't know where that. Yeah, here it is. What we were talking about in, I want to say it was podcast 16?
Yes, 15 or 16 probably.
We talked about Shadow of War.
Frame.
Yeah. We talked about Shadow of War, which is a WB interactive game. And it had turned out that they made a tribute to a former developer that had died.
Of cancer. And
yes, he died of
that's
cancer.
Wonderful. You know, want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, it's good that they made a tribute.
Good that they made a tribute.
And it was a cool tribute.
Very cool.
I'm not going to go into details, but it was a cool tribute.
Orc Slayer DLC, cool tribute.
However, it being DLC was a problem. It was... we made this paid DLC. Exactly. They were like, we made this tribute to this former developer who's died of cancer, and it's really cool, and we're going to put it in this game. Oh, but you got to pay extra for it.
Now, they did say...
They did say...
they were going to donate the money, but it was under, like, really particular terms.
Yes,
like, only one of the states...
There were, I think, 8 states and no countries other than the U.S.
Right.
Where it was going to go toward the charity. And it was, I don't know, for reasons that are unclear. I think some of them, they said it was certain ways the tax laws worked. But one guy actually researched the laws in, I think, 3 of the states that were listed and said there's nothing here that says that these should be exceptions.
Was he a lawyer, though? Because it gets complicated.
That's true.
So
I don't know if he was a lawyer. He was a YouTuber.
Yeah, I don't know that we can say that WB Interactive did this all out of malicious intent, like, we're going to get money and they're going to think we're doing it for the right reasons.
Absolutely. I'm not saying it's necessarily all malicious, but the results...
It still wasn't good.
Yeah, it was a bad look at the very least.
Only 3 out of every $5 was going
towards...
was
actually going to the charity.
The charity.
And you got to think... if you want someone to donate $5, let them donate all $5 toward the charity.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't buy DLC like ever. Just about.
I buy it very rarely.
Okay, that's not true. I do occasionally buy DLC.
I prefer buying definitive editions where it's all included.
Same. But anyway, I would buy this DLC if I knew it was all going towards cancer research.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't buy it otherwise. Mm-hmm. But anyway, point is, that is no longer the case.
That is no longer the case. It's going to be a free update in all cases, in all locations, and they're just saying, here's where you can donate to his family. Here's where you can donate to this like cancer research fund, and we're just gonna we're gonna promote that and do it in the most decent and honest way you can do it.
Yeah, and
the way you should have done it like to begin with.
It's pretty cool DLC.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I would love to be immortalized in a game or something like that in the way that they did this guy.
And I said this in the last podcast that we talked about this. It would have been cool if it wasn't a DLC update at all. If it was just in the game and you happened upon it and you're like, whoa, what was that about? And you can look it up and you can find the story. And it funnels into his legend because he was apparently like a legendary coder.
I thought he wasn't whatever.
He was able to show up and fix things that no one else could figure out, and then he would leave. And that's what he does in the game. His character will show up when you're in a tight spot, decapitate the orc you're fighting, and leave.
Yeah.
Which is just cool.
Which is very cool.
But anyway, yeah, they've reversed their position on that and say everyone's going to get it for free. So, go WB. Yeah. Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Start doing that to begin with, if you don't mind. Technically, they did nothing wrong because it technically never went through.
This is true.
And they did refund everyone who pre-funded.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was up for sale, so I guess they're refunding people?
Yeah, they're refunding everyone that did that, and they're saying, hey, you can put it... Yeah, go...
donate.
Yeah, which if I had already paid for it, I'd be like, okay, I refunded it, I'll put it toward the actual charity.
Yeah, exactly.
So, WB is...
doing good this week.
Yeah, imagine.
All cold. Now, next week is we will see. We will see.
Next week we'll see the season pass announced for all the future Dead developers they're going to be putting in games.
They're killing their staff.
Yeah, they haven't picked them yet. All right, we'll move on to some more gaming news, I guess. And Cuphead came out and is getting extremely positive reviews, which is good because man, this has been delayed. I want to say twice. And one of them was a big delay. This is supposed to be out in like mid 2016, I believe. And that was a while ago. And it's also a good thing that it's come out because it's one of the only existing Xbox One exclusives.
Oh, geez, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's console exclusive. It is a Microsoft game.
Which, now means that...
It means you can get it on Windows.
On Windows 10.
Exactly.
You can get anything on Xbox One just about.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I can't think of one that isn't both. If Microsoft is making a video game, it's almost like they're making it for both the Xbox One and the Windows 10.
They are, because the Xbox One is just running distro
essentially
Windows 10. So.
Yep. More or less. And they're kind of treating the Xbox One itself as more of like a platform instead of a single console, because the way they're going to do the upgrades now is they're just going to keep incrementally making it more powerful, which I'm sure eventually older systems won't be able to run certain games.
Right.
There will be a cutoff where like, all right, well, new games won't run on this system, by next year.
It's wonderful. We're moving into the cell phone upgrade system for consoles. That's not going to cause problems at all.
Oh, right. Of course not. This is just going to fix everything. However, there are pros and cons.
There are pros,
and I can respect the pros. But yeah, Cuphead's getting really good reviews, and it is a challenging, side-scrolling jump-shoot game.
Yes,
which I love. I love those games, so I'm really excited to play it. And it's co-op. Co-op games never come out, as we learned this weekend when we were trying to find games to play after we beat Diablo 3. We were like, well, what's 4-player co-op? Not much.
Not a whole lot.
Not much at all. I think we settled on Battleborn after looking at Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which is a kind of an old game.
And that is co-op. We can do all 4 players, but we have to split onto 2 consoles, which is unfortunate because
it's a good thing me and Jan both have Xboxes.
Yeah, and well, we were playing at my place, and I've got a projector, and it's a nice big 100-inch screen.
Yep, it's nice.
And then all of a sudden, we've got two people using the nice big 100-inch screen, and Jan and I on a 27-inch, teeny tiny little.
And was Jan saying it wasn't quite full 1080p?
No, it's 720.
Yeah, okay.
Which I just use it for my computer right now because I'm broke and I don't want to buy a computer monitor.
I'm not criticizing your monitor. I was just saying, when you're prepared to have this big, nice projector for co-op,
because the projector's 1080p.
Exactly. This is delicious. What is it? Optoma.
Yes.
It's a nice Optoma projector. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and we got surround sound on that, and then Jan and I are playing on the 27-inch TV with the onboard speakers.
That's unfortunate. But I'm always in support of more co-op games.
And you may be thinking to yourself, well, why aren't they playing Borderlands?
We played all of them.
We played all of them.
This was this thing that we do where we we'll pick a weekend and we'll just binge one 4-player co-op game the whole weekend. We already did every single Borderlands game. So we're basically waiting on Borderlands 3 now because that's the only true 4-player co-op optimized game that comes out anymore.
Yeah,
which makes me very sad.
Yes, I'm big on couch multiplayer, not just co-op either.
Right?
But for these weekends, co-op is what we want. We don't want to be wailing on each other for 3 days straight.
We'll get angry.
We will.
It used to happen when we were we were living in the dorms and we have those Smash marathons and everyone leaves mad.
I mean, I'm not big on Smash in the first place. so
Oh, I guess you couldn't get too mad. You just didn't have.
I'm just
that
not
much
good.
Fun.
No. Yeah. Although I could play Olimar and make everyone just as upset as I was.
Trollimar,
So,
well, I might as well bring everyone down with me. I think that mostly does it in terms of game news. So, got some other stuff that I can touch on real quick. Also, this might not be a full-length episode, just because...
Because I'm not interesting.
That's not true. Don't say that. We're having a fine conversation. I think it's just because there's not a lot of really controversial stuff that's been happening, in my opinion. There's been good stuff that's been happening, and the controversial stuff with YouTube, I think we've covered plenty.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about some real quick movie and TV news. I guess we'll start off with movies. But, actually, I forgot. This is something that Dallas wanted me to potentially speculate on. There was a Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer that came out.
Oh, yeah.
No gameplay. It was all cutscenes. It was.
I didn't watch it. I was at work.
It's in-engine and it looks good. But people say, in-engine footage. It's well, you also have a whole lot of variables turned off.
Yeah.
In that kind of open-world game for a cutscene. So
Watch Dogs.
Exactly. Not that Rockstar would lie as bad as Ubisoft, but
no.
A cutscene is in a very controlled environment where you can put in some more intensive assets. So that's always a little tricky. You got to take it with a grain of salt when they say
pre-rendered graphics versus.
Mm-hmm. Essentially, and they in-engine, but also pre-rendered.
Yes.
So that being said, the cutscenes look really good, and the facial animation is incredible.
Yeah.
Rockstar is pretty good at
that.
They're
pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I never played Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, because it was only on the 360 and PS3. Never went to PC.
Yeah, and I'm a Nintendo
I got two
and
things
PC
to speculate
guy.
Then about this. One of them is in regards to the fact that it seems like Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to have a similar system that GTA 5 had, where you have multiple characters that you're going to play as and potentially switch between.
That sounds good.
And one of them might be a Rockstar first, being their first playable female character. Ooh. Because there's a point in the trailer where one guy is talking to the main character and he says, "You need another gun," or "You need a new gun," and it immediately switches to a female character who seems like she could be a protagonist. So that'll be interesting. I
like strong female characters. Give us more good ones, please.
Yeah, especially in games like that. Games where kind of morally questionable things go down. Because I feel like people are so people are so standoffish and afraid to have, moral gray areas and female protagonists because they're so afraid of the backlash that I don't think would even happen.
I don't know. We backlashed about a lot of
That's
stuff.
true. Dragon Age Inquisition did have its first completely lesbian character, and people were upset that she had character depth and was kind of a jerk.
Asshole.
Yeah, people did get mad about that. But once again, I don't think it's as bad as Ubisoft's justification for not having playable female assassins in Unity back in the day.
Females are hard to model, Tim.
I guess so. But
do you know how much jiggle physics cost?
Apparently, not that much anymore. I think that that Team Ninja engine must have gone into public domain because everyone's got it now. It's every single game where it doesn't even seem like it would need it.
Then what was Ubisoft's excuse?
I think they were lying.
People lie?
Ubisoft lie?
Game studios lie?
But anyway, it's better to piss people off with a potentially divisive female protagonist than it is with not even making the attempt.
Because even if that happens, maybe some other game studio will be like, well, we can do it right.
Yeah, totally. And I give Ubisoft credit because Assassin's Creed Syndicate, that happened right after that, had a female character, and she was potentially... she was kind of more interesting than the male protagonist. The male protagonist was kind of a bog standard, English cool guy, whereas his sister was more like a reserved pseudo sociopath. Oh. So, and you could play as her, and that was a little more interesting. But yeah, so Rockstar might have the first female protagonist, and it's going to be in a Western, which is also pretty cool in itself. Yeah. How many Westerns have a
female protagonist?
Yeah. And, one that you would play as, meaning one that you're going to be riding around and shooting and doing the actual action and stuff like that. That'll be cool.
So, yeah, fingers crossed for that.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I'm going to speculate on in regards to Red Dead Redemption. I think what could have happened with the original Red Dead Redemption, it was never released on PC, and I almost feel like it was in reaction to GTA 4's very prolific mod scene, that it may have made Take-Two a little uncomfortable, because we've seen from Take-Two and their the company they own, 2K, are very uncomfortable with that kind of thing. So I think with Red Dead Redemption, they were just going to avoid it entirely and say, we're just not going to make a PC version. And then you saw in GTA 5, what was it, like a year and a half after it came out on console, they finally put it on PC, and the mods started coming in, and Take-Two started, taking legal action against some of the mods. Do you remember when this happened?
I do.
I believe it was 2016. And Rockstar, being the rock stars that they are, was able to use their own, image, their own pull to tell Take-Two, stop. Don't.
Yeah.
We're not...
It's just going to injure the, game.
It's going to injure our game, and it's going to injure our reputation. And our reputation, you need.
Yeah.
No one likes you. Everyone loves us. So they were kind of able to stand in the way of that. So I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2 might be another situation where Take-Two's going to kind of just be like, all right, well, we're just not going to deal with it. We're just going to avoid that entirely. And they might at least not release a PC version until long after the console version has been out.
Which is unfortunate, because that means I am not going to play it.
Yeah, you're not going to play it when it's new.
Not on silent.
And yeah, it's a bummer, because I even though this reasoning is a little bit different than the typical reasoning, I just don't care for timed exclusivity. It makes no sense to me. It being on one system beforehand, unless you're like, we're a small team and we don't have the resources to port it yet.
Yeah.
Undertale was made by one guy, and then Lawbreakers is a team of 30 people, and they're like, we just barely were able to put it on the PS4. Maybe we'll get it on the Xbox One eventually. But that's when it's like, I can understand that. But when
one thing at a time versus...
When you're, EA, Take-Two, Activision, Microsoft, Okay, no, Microsoft makes sense. It's their platforms.
Well, yeah.
Like Rise of the Tomb Raider was exclusive on the Xbox One for 1 year, and I'm just like, why? Are you really getting enough to justify doing that?
Because if I was a PS4 owner and I really wanted to play
Rise of the Tomb Raider, just wait a year.
I would just wait a year. I wouldn't be like, well, I guess I have to go buy an Xbox.
I can't wait a whole year. Better slap down $300.
I am sure there are people that do that.
Sure.
But that has to be a vanishingly small amount of people compared to the number of people that just wait a year.
Think about the kind of person that is going to buy a console to play Tomb Raider a year early. They're the kind of person that already owns all of the consoles.
Yeah, exactly.
The person who wasn't already going to buy all three is not going to buy it just to play it a year early.
Right.
I
think if they do, they're probably going to play the game, turn it into GameStop, and sell the console on eBay.
Exactly. That doesn't help anyone. And when I say timed exclusivity, I specifically mean when they're like, this is part of a contract. Like, you can't put it on anything else until this specific amount of time has passed. I'm not talking about, Rocket League released on the PC, then it released on the PlayStation 4, then it released on the Xbox One.
Rocket
now
League
it's coming
was
to the Switch.
Also a runaway success that I don't think they
from
were
an indie developer.
Yeah.
So those situations where they're like, we're only willing to bet on this number of systems because they seem like the right place to go, and then if it's successful, we'll bring it to other places. I'm fine with that. What I'm not okay with is Activision still doing the whole thing where Call of Duty and Destiny and I thought there was one more. I think those are the two. The two off the top of my head where DLC will be exclusive like for a month or 2 months on the PlayStation, and then it gets released on the Xbox and the PC. I
always forget that Destiny isn't an Xbox exclusive.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I associate it with Halo, and I'm like, yeah, obviously
it's just Bungie.
Because Bungie.
Yeah, that it's actually, the Xbox has stuff that doesn't come to it. Like, the PlayStation had exclusive missions for Destiny 1.
Yeah, I did know that, because I had a friend that had the PlayStation, and that's when he played Destiny on the PlayStation.
Yeah, and that one in particular was very felt like a betrayal to Xbox gamers who, like, Bungie was the developer that they loved.
There are guys.
Yeah. And then...
yeah, well, how do you think the Nintendo people feel about Rare?
Oh, yeah. No, that was way worse. That was because Nintendo never saw another Rare game. That being said, there weren't any good ones later.
Well, that's true.
So that was some ointment on the wound. That wasn't salt on the wound. It was, they suck. But yeah, I guess that's kind of a similar situation. Okay, well, I thought we were going to run out of gaming stuff to talk about. We didn't. Maybe we can hurry up and get into movie stuff now. But basically, Blade Runner is getting rave reviews.
Which is good.
Yes, God, I'm so relieved.
Because I was worried.
It's a Ridley Scott sequel, which makes me think of Alien, specifically Prometheus and Alien Covenant, which are... In my opinion, Covenant is awful and a blight.
I haven't seen Covenant.
Good for you.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's a good thing.
It's worse than Prometheus because Prometheus at least knew what it wanted to be until the very end. Ugh. Covenant starts off having no idea what it's doing and never figures it out.
I did see Prometheus. Alien was so good.
Yeah, it was.
I love the universe. Mm-hmm. I wish they would do right by it. So I'm glad that Blade Runner has managed to not do that.
Yes, it seems people like it. I'm still going to have to see it myself, of course.
Oh, it's
and I really want to see it.
Yeah.
But
I need to rewatch the original because my girlfriend hasn't seen it. Mm-hmm. So that is on my list of movies to watch.
Make sure you watch the final cut.
Well, yeah.
The director's cut did not involve the director. Fun fact.
Fun.
And the original version is kind of bad because it had that overbearing, hand-holdy narration.
Right.
That was just like, subtlety is for chumps, I guess. But yeah, God, I'm so glad that this is doing well. So I was so worried.
I was so worried.
This is a win. I'm very, very happy for this. Now here's a God. This is just unreal. So it, has been like not only the highest grossing September premiere of all time, but it was the highest grossing horror film of all time, and the highest grossing R-rated film of all time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw it beat Deadpool.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Unreal.
I don't watch horror movies, and I went and saw it. So that I guess that tells you
there's those movies that are good genre films, like this is a good action film, this is a good horror film, this is a good romantic film. Then there are movies that are good movies that happen to be in these genres.
It is one of those.
It seems to be. I still haven't seen it, unfortunately. Right. Waiting on my movie pass. Sure would like to be sent that. It's been 2 weeks.
Use your viewer clout, Tim.
Hey, everyone listening, go call up MoviePass. Say, hey, come on. They answer the phone. They're like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Come on, guys. Come on. Send the cards. Send the cards." Anyway.
I got a photocopier you can borrow.
Yeah. It, for its first 2 weeks, was in number one. The number one spot on the box office. Third week, it got beat by Kingsman, The Golden Circle.
Which I still haven't seen.
Which was a premiere. It was a new premiere.
Right.
That being said, it barely beat it. It was in a close second. It is now number one for its fourth week. So it's back in the lead.
I just wanted to comment on the fact that you said it barely beat it.
God, what a problematic name.
What is such a problematic name?
We've started referring to it as Stephen King's It 2017.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah. There was, in one of the Hangouts conversations, Wesley accidentally hit enter before he finished his message, and it said, actually, it... And he hit enter, and I immediately commented 2017, and he didn't get it because he didn't know what I was talking about. But yeah, Kingsman in last week when it won barely beat Stephen King's It 2017.
Right,
and then Stephen King's It 2017 for the fourth weekend that it was out this past weekend is now number one again. That doesn't happen.
That's unusual, yeah.
In your fourth week to not only be number one, but to have come back.
From number two.
Yeah. This movie's momentum is
ungodly.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, and if, there's still people like you that are definitely going to go see it.
I'm definitely going to see it, yeah.
That's still an untapped market that's going to continue it forward. Plus, it's October,
Oh my gosh. And it's, as far as I know, the only really high-profile horror film in the theater right now. I'm feeling spooky.
I'm feeling spooky.
I'm ready to go watch it.
I'm going to shed this mortal skin and prance about as a skeleton some.
Yes. Go join the skeleton war. It's an honest living. Anyway. So, Tom Cruise is in movies, right? He makes those?
He's short and in movies.
Yeah, you remember The Mummy?
Yes.
I'm surprised no one else did.
It's got Brandon Fraser in it. I like Brandon Fraser. Oh, wait, the new one.
The one that came out this year called The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise.
I do remember that.
Yes, well, now you do. Well, anyway, Tom Cruise is starting to... He seems to have reached Nicolas Cage level where he doesn't say no to anything and acts really, really hard in every movie he's in, regardless as to what the director is saying or what the tone of the movie is or maybe what the other people around him are doing.
Okay, so you're a doctor in a cancer ward. We're bringing up cancer a lot. I'm bringing up cancer a lot. I don't think
you got something you want to talk about?
My dad has cancer again, so yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
But it's very handleable.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Anyway. Moving on.
Oh, I had the thought. I'm supposed to continue the thought now.
Well, I was talking about Tom Cruise being hard as a doctor in a cancer ward.
Here's the thing you're doing, and Tom Cruise just takes off running. Because that's what he does. He's got to start running. He's got to tear his shirt off and expose his 55-year-old rippling abs. But anyway, apparently American Made is his best film in over a decade, people are calling it. And it's apparently
I know nothing about it.
It's supposedly a movie where he has relented and done what was asked of him.
Oh, well, that's
and proved that yes, he is a good actor if he will listen.
Yes,
that's
important.
Give it a rest. Yeah. So that's interesting and kind of exciting. The other stuff that I guess is coming out this week, not a lot of like big name things that I recognize, but some of them seem to be getting good reviews.
We were talking about not a whole lot of horror movies coming out this month. There is
Flatliners, which has sitting at a 3% on Tomatoes.
I was intrigued, but I didn't think it was going to be good, and I was going to wait for that to go to the Dollar Theater, and now I don't even know if I'll do that.
Well, the thing with horror films is sometimes a really schlocky, dumb movie will get a 3%, but it would totally be worth the Dollar Theater. That's why it's good for horror films that are of that quality, I guess.
Yeah.
It's good to read reviews and try to find the ones that are saying the positive things. And do they not have taste, or are they saying, nah, it's bad, but I had a good time?
Yeah.
That's why you got to read reviews, people. Don't just look at the score, because I've missed out on too many things that I found out I would have liked, like Power Rangers.
I still haven't seen.
Turned out to be good for all of the reasons it shouldn't have been, but it was still good. So this has been a whole lot of people are talking about Star Trek Discovery,
right?
In my like when I go to class and in my film classes and stuff, there's a lot of people who are saying that it's really good, like, and it's a Star Trek show that's having to come after the J.J. Abrams films that kind of raised the bar in terms of not just action, but kind of production value. That's all been raised. Yes. So it's having to follow that act while also being a series that has to be faithful to the originals and be, maybe a bit more procedural and I don't know if pensive is the correct word, but
yeah, no, that kind of works.
Yeah. And from what I'm hearing, it's doing both. It seems to be...
Which is impressive.
Yes, especially for a series.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's hard to do in a serialized format.
Uh-huh. And if you look at the poster, that's very Jabrams-esque.
It is.
That kind of white with the kind of silhouette with a person's face on it. Like, they're absolutely cashing in on that mood, I guess.
And I go to an engineering school... So we're not all about the film and talking about that stuff, and I've heard good things about it. Then again, it's an engineering school. Star Trek is going to be one of those.
Yeah, it's going to be popular, and that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Because think about what show gets popular with engineers. Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yeah,
and Star Trek also is popular with other people who aren't
Star
engineers.
Trek and anime.
I guess
anime, the TV show.
I don't. Those connecting I don't understand, but I guess it makes sense. We're not going to be able to talk about it. We're going to run out of our hour. Oh man, we got like less than a minute left. Okay, here's something. Have you watched any of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, zero.
Not a bit.
Not a minute.
Well, honestly, I don't blame you. I've watched the first 3 seasons, and I've enjoyed them. I think the 3rd season was their best yet. I haven't watched any of the 4th season, but apparently the show's not very popular, not very high in the ratings, and ABC was just going to cancel it. It's not
doing well enough. Yeah.
Yep, it's not doing well enough, and it's an expensive show.
I'm sure.
Especially season 3.
Superhero shows in general are expensive.
But season 3 had Ghost Rider, where you frequently had a fully CGI flaming head. And it was done well. It looked good. So it had to be really expensive. ABC was going to cancel it, and Disney strong-armed them and didn't let them.
That's weird.
Which seems like a bad business decision. Because if people aren't watching the show, why have it on?
I don't know.
Like, and I'm going to tell you right now, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not important to the MCU. Like, it's supplemental at best. The only reason you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not to get extra background on the movies. It's because you want to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's it. So, God, I don't understand why they would want to save it. Maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be their headliner when they announce their streamable service, and they want to be able to put on 5 complete seasons on day one. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a smart idea, and Disney seems like the kind of ruthless, cutthroat company that would just cancel it. I mean, they canceled Gravity Falls the first time because it wasn't doing well. And then the fan backlash, they were like, hey, money! So they brought it back.
Gravity Falls is a fantastic show. Go watch it if you haven't.
Absolutely. This is just unrelated to that. Yeah, go watch it. But yeah, I don't get that. And add on to the fact that Inhumans, they were saying that Inhumans was going to be, that was the complete first season. I'm pretty sure they're calling it the complete series now. Because it's doing so poorly in critical response.
Ooh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Guess who...
It just premiered, like, yesterday or something, didn't it?
Did it? The IMAX premiere? I've been seeing ads for it everywhere, so that wouldn't surprise me. I honestly stopped keeping track of it because of one thing. The showrunner is Scott Buck. And Scott Buck was the showrunner not only for the last 4 seasons of Dexter, that ruined Dexter, but he was the showrunner for the worst thing Marvel ever did, which was Iron Fist.
Yeah, I was like, that name is really familiar, and I can't... Oh, no, he's the Iron Fist guy.
Yeah, it's infamous. People are saying, no, it's worse than Iron Fist.
Holy cow.
Which is ridiculous.
I struggle with superhero shows in general. Like,
yes.
Daredevil, I can respect it as a show. I've watched a decent amount of it. It's really well done. It can't hold my attention.
Can't hold your attention, yeah. And that's more of a taste thing.
Exactly.
I love superheroes, not just for movies, comics, TV shows. I love the whole genre, and I'm glad it feels like it's been going on for too long for completely selfish reasons.
Yeah.
And I kind of hit a point in anime where I was just not feeling it. I couldn't find anything I wanted to watch. Then My Hero Academia happened, and is one of just the most honest, just boldest, best superhero shows I've seen in a long time. And it's an original universe. It's not tied to Marvel or DC. It was all new stuff.
I describe myself as a little bit spoiled on the superhero front, too, because, one, if you like reading, go read the web serial Worm. It's fantastic.
How do you tell them how to spell it?
WORM. You know, like the bug. Bug. Yeah.
Like worms like or worms. Bugs? Yes.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Who's
the author?
Wildbow or J.C. McCrae.
J.C. McCrae. Okay. Look that up.
Yeah, it's free. It's fantastic. And then My Hero Academia is like a kind of more kid-friendly version of Worm.
Okay, yeah. The way I've described My Hero Academia to people is, imagine if Brad Bird made an animated adaptation of Sky High. Because Sky High has the premise of, high schooler superheroes, but the movie sucks. Brad Bird doesn't make bad movies. He made The Incredibles.
Yes.
And he made Iron Giant. So not only is he good at superheroes and superhero designs and backstories and powers, he's really good at that. Look up Incredibles lore. Some of the heroes are so cool, and I hope they show up in the sequel. But
when are we getting the sequel?
I believe 2019,
2019? I knew it was still a while away, but I couldn't remember if it was 2018, like late, or 2019.
Gotta wait till 2019. But he's good at that, and he did Iron Giant, so he's really good at directing, not directing, but writing and creating, like, adolescent characters.
Right.
Which is so uncommon. Like...
Well, there's a lot of bad adolescents.
Kids are either annoying or dumb. Or both.
Or both.
Like 90% of the time, that's kid characters and actors. But My Hero is
not that.
It's really good.
It's not that.
My Hero Academia is just excellent, and it got me back into anime where I was basically just watching JoJo reruns for a while. Like that was all I had. But yeah, superheroes. What got us on that? I forgot. Scott Buck. Inhumans.
Scott Buck. The antithesis of My Hero Academia and Worm.
Scott Buck, the greatest supervillain in all of superhero history. Yeah, God. Well, Inhumans basically dead on arrival, and Disney is insisting on saving Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't get it, man. I don't get it, Disney. Maybe just let that one die. I think it's run its course. If honestly, as someone who enjoys the show, I think it's run its course. It's probably a good time.
I've heard good things about it, but I still don't think I'm going to go watch it.
Yeah. I don't think I will either. I don't think I can continue.
Right.
Like, the end of season 3, it was like, that was good. I think we've run out of the borrowed time we were given. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
guys.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. felt like it should have ended halfway through season 2, as far as people caring and having people to talk about it with. It's like, no one's watching it.
Yeah.
No one cares, man. I know y'all
You're
are
going to have to go on the
but
subreddit if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, and that requires me going onto Reddit, which scares me just as a concept. So, Disney, just let it die. Which is a game I still haven't played. Let it die. Suda 5-1. His kind of punk rock Dark Souls is how it's been described to me. But, Cuphead, the Dark Souls of video games.
That's bringing it full circle.
Yeah. I guess that's the ending. I'm probably gonna...
Yeah, we're a little over an hour.
An hour, which we're fine to go over an hour. And if there's anything I need to cut out, I'll cut out. If it seems like it's a little too wordy.
Yes.
Which, it's a podcast. It's just words. If something's a little too wordy, I think it's wrong.
We could just sit here and be quiet for a while.
You're right. Give people what they want.
Not cut that out.
It out.
Because that's not too wordy.
Yeah, just leave it as silence.